this brightness. I'm going to use my head to block it again. If you hear rustling in the background, that's Jelly Bean. There is a sack down there that is just so fascinating. It's awesome. Anyway, this brightness, I've been experimenting this morning, and there is literally nothing I can do about it other than use my big head to block it. I tried switching perspectives, angles, all of that, and it doesn't work. There's either it washes everything out, there's a huge glare. This is the only solution I could find. And so I apparently have a halo. But trust me, I'm not angelic and don't aspire to be. Anyway, so for now, this is going to have to work. We are joined this morning by the lovely Artemis and Jelly Bean, who has managed to get in the sack. And that's all he wanted. But yes, he has managed to get himself into the sack, so all is well. Anyway, as I was saying, there's nothing I can do about that. I live on the Gulf Coast of Texas. This is a cloudy day. So, yeah. On the upside, I do get plenty of light in this room when I'm trying to work on something. So that's a plus, right? Take what we can get. It is a new year. I'm going to start off with thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to me ramble in my almost organized craft room. To those of you who are new here, welcome. Welcome. We're so happy to see you. And for those of you who are returning visitors or subscribers, I'm so happy to see you in 2024. We're going to start off with a brief introduction for those of you who are new. I am Sherry. I am, we'll just say not young. You can guess how old I am. I have been cross-stitching since I was 8. And believe me, 8 was decades ago. Multiple decades ago. So I have been stitching for a very long time. Unlike a lot of people who are like, oh, I gave it up because I was working, or I had children, or I got married, or I grew up, or whatever. No, I didn't give it up. I've always been stitching. It is what I do to calm myself. I am extreme ADHD. I'm very hyper, very high energy, and you will notice that I do typically talk with my hands a lot. My husband likes to tell people that if I sit on my hands, I am effectively mute and cannot speak. I don't know what to tell you. But when I was 8, my grandmother took pity on me because back in those days, we didn't have meds. We didn't have any of that. We had our mother standing over us saying, if you don't sit your butt still, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. So, and try as I might, I still couldn't sit still. I wanted to, I tried, but I just couldn't. So my grandmother took pity on me, and wise, as most grandmothers back then were, she said, maybe if we can keep your hands still, we can keep your butt in a chair so it doesn't get beaten as much. So she taught me embroidery. Now, embroidery is what she taught me first. And then I went on later and learned cross stitch. I do still embroider. Not often, though. I prefer cross stitch. Something about just the methodical making X's is very calming to my mind, and it helps me focus on whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's watching TV or listening to something or having a conversation. A lot of times in the evening when my husband comes home from work and he's telling me about his day, I'll be stitching. That way I can listen to him and I'm not popping up and running out of the room and then coming back and then popping up and running out of the room again. That's what I do. Same thing with trying to watch a movie or TV, which we don't really watch TV. We do watch movies. We'll have movie nights, but I usually have my stitching there to keep my hands busy so that I can sit still and watch. That is why. Now, later in life, I suffer from PTSD. Maybe 20 years ago, I was the victim of a murder attempt, and I still suffer from that today. I am very, very, I have a lot of social anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety in general. I do have nightmares. Matter of fact, earlier this week, I had insomnia because of the nightmares. I do not take medication for any of that. They actually tried me on medication, but it gave me seizures. So that's a no. I'd rather have the nightmares, okay, and the anxiety than the seizures. So this is how I deal with it. The cross stitching just is very soothing to me, and it helps with my anxiety as well as my hyperactivity. So that is why I never gave it up. Okay. Now, that being said, I don't have a lot of old projects that I've done in the past because they were usually gifts. I do have some that are in a box, but I have to find that box. There's a story behind that. Originally, we were going to move. My husband took a job that hired him to move to Alabama. So we were originally going to move to Alabama. So we began packing everything up, fixing up the house, and then they decided that, oh, you know what, with your contacts and your knowledge and your experience, you are more valuable to us here, so we're reneging on that deal and you're just staying here. Which I wasn't happy about, and really neither was he, but the money couldn't be argued with. So we ended up staying here, and I have not, since we were in the middle of fixing up the house, we decided we're just going to remodel it and unpack the things we had packed up as we finish rooms. Now, we have finished my daughter's room. We have finished this craft room. We have more or less finished the living room. But I have not yet had a chance to unpack all of those boxes. And not only that, we had finished our bedroom, but then the hall bathroom, the shower pipe broke and leaked all in the walls, and half the wall of my bedroom came tumbling down. So we had to fix that wall, and we fixed it, but now we have to repaint. We haven't done that yet. So we had issues, okay? Life, what can you do? But anyway, as I unpack them, I will show them. Now, that's my stitchy background. I also sew, I draw, I paint, I build furniture. I do all of the crafty things. I like to do things to keep my hands busy. I play video games. But anyway, so that is who I am. I started this channel because I don't know anyone, local or really non-local, who stitches like I do. I do have some stitchy friends, but they are across the ocean. One of them lives in Finland. Hi, Mia. One of them lives in Australia. Hi, Lara. So I am making new friends on this channel though. Dawn, hi. Margaret, hi. And I love reading your comments. I love getting to know you. So please comment, subscribe, like all that stuff. I want to build a friendly community here. I have tried the Facebook groups. There's a lot of negative people on Facebook. That's all I can say. I tried several and never really stuck with any of them. The people there are very judgmental, and I don't know. It seems to me like the only thing social media has really accomplished is giving people a free license to be hateful, because you're not there in person, so you're sitting safely behind a keyboard, anonymous, and you don't have the consequences of hateful comments. So, you know, somebody sitting behind a keyboard could easily just make a hateful comment, and instead of being punched in the nose, they get away with it. So people are more apt to be critical and hateful to others, and I don't put up with any of that. I won't. The second it happens, done, gone. And so now I have a Facebook. I'm never on it. Very seldom do I get on Facebook. I do have an Instagram. My Instagram is Hecate's Needle, just like this channel. And that name came from my sweet little Hecate. My little Hecateensy. If Mama is sewing, she's right here. This is her spot. Well, until I get up to use the iron or the bathroom or something, and then she's in this chair. And I'm stuck with a little broken chair that's only this high off the floor. But if I am cross-stitching, she is laying on my pattern. So, Hecate's Needle. Because whatever I'm doing, Hecate is there. She loves her mama. Anyway, so you can find me on Instagram. Feel free to message me, chat with me, whatever. I'm always down for a chat. I love making new friends. I live in, I won't say the country, but I am in an unincorporated area, and I am not surrounded by a lot of people. So I have a small, we have a small little homestead. We raise chickens for eggs. I don't eat my girls. So we're here. We grow most of our own food. I have a master's degree in horticulture, so I grow a lot of plants. My passion are poisonous plants, because often the most deadly blooms are the most beautiful, and they're unusual. So I do grow a lot of those. My husband likes to tell people he's my guinea pig. I promise you, I'm not poisoning my husband. I love my husband. But he says it keeps him in line, knowing what could happen. But anyway, so now, the way this channel works is I generally start out with whatever little life updates I may have. Generally, they revolve around kitten chaos. Occasionally other things. Then we move into cross stitch, which is the bulk of this channel. And then I usually touch on whatever sewing projects I have, and then gardening. And that is by request. Especially from Laura. She just basically said, I want to see and hear everything. Of course, she wants to know everything too. And Laura has her own cross stitch channel. It is I Stitch Birds. She's awesome and amazing, and she does gorgeous work. Check her out. She is here on Flosstube, and on Instagram she is Laura Stitcher, so I'm sure everybody knows her. So moving on, all of that out of the way. Life. life. I have survived Christmas, I have survived New Year's, and I have survived my birthday, which was January 7th. So all of that is out of the way. I have my daughter's birthday in February, but it's not till the end of the month, so I have time to sew her whatever I'm going to sew her. She has requested yet another doll. And then I have my wedding anniversary in March, but I'm not going to be sewing anything for that, so that's, you know. Let's see. Kittens. The Christmas tree survived. If you saw my end of the year video, you know we only lost 5 glass ornaments. And the tree never hit the floor. That's important. We survived Christmas with 2 little boys, 2 little kittens, Snickers and Jelly Bean. As you saw, Jelly Bean is... Oh, no, he has left the sack. He is now curled up with his dog. Yes. Jelly Bean loves Artemis. She is his friend. She does not agree, but it doesn't matter what she thinks. He loves her. So they are napping together. Hecate is currently zooming around the house. Last I heard, she was going up and down the stairs. That's fine. She needs the exercise. Snickers, last time I saw him, he had his favorite little toy fish, and he was playing with him on the cat tower. So they're doing their thing, and my daughter's playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. But as far as life goes, all is well, all is calm. My husband was out of town the first half of this week, but he came back last night. We did have some storms, so I got lots of stitching done, which is good. Let's see. Other than that, we just cruising right along. So, on to cross stitch. Cross stitch. I've been doing quite a bit of stitching. You know, now that I've finished all of the Christmas stitching, the Christmas presents and everything, I have really, really been enjoying getting back to working on my normal whips. I, of course, have my check sheet, which I really need to fill out more, because I've actually done more than just 2 things. But I have my check sheet that I'm going by for each month. I started a new project. Now, I started it between Christmas and my birthday. I actually started it, I think, December 30th. Just because I couldn't wait. And it turns out it was okay, because I only got 2 patterns for my birthday anyway. And those are patterns that I will actually have to order the stuff before I can start them. I will start with my new start. What I decided out of the new stuff I got for the various holidays. What I decided to start working on was the Riolis kit, Maine Coon. This looks like the cat we used to have. My husband had Lucy when I met him. She was a rescue from Hurricane Ike as just a tiny little kitten. Now, we have since lost her. We lost her a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and she was old, okay? But she looked exactly like this. And so I decided to go ahead and start stitching this one for him, for his little Lucy. And I just have a small start. Now, I am using all of the kit materials. It came with, I think it's 14 count Aida. No, 10 count Aida, black Aida. It came with 10 count black Aida, and it's the wool threads, which I have never used before. I'm finding that interesting. I don't like, I mean, I don't dislike it. It's just something I've never done before. But this is what I've gotten started. I started from the middle, and this is my start. So, I am working on that one. As I said, I'm just using the kit materials, nothing fancy. I didn't do any conversions. So, 10 count black Aida with the yarn that they put in their kits. So, that's what I've gotten done on my new start. The next one I've been working on. Last year, Satsuma Street had a stitch along, the 4 elements. And I signed up for it, paid for it, but I didn't keep up with it because me. Now, when it's finished, it will look like this. And just because I didn't keep up with it doesn't mean I won't finish it. I will finish it because I love the design. But what I've got done thus far, and I am using a 14 count black Aida. I am using straight DMC floss, nothing fancy. When you saw it last time at the end of the year, it looked like this. And since then, I managed to get this much done. I'm slowly but surely filling in that wave. Now, I don't use Pattern Keeper or any of those apps or anything like that, so I can't tell you what percentage or how many stitches I have done or anything like that. I have this many because I'm scientific. I will say I do like stitching this. I'm enjoying it very much. But the large blocks of colors can get kind of monotonous, especially with this wave, because it is just all blue, all different shades of blue. I'm actually excited. I actually got to the part where I can start stitching in the little colorful fish. So, but that's what I've gotten done thus far, and I did get quite a bit of progress done on it. The next one I did, and this one I would say is at least half, if not more than halfway finished. Now, I am doing both of these. I'm going to do the lettuce and the tomato. I'm currently working on the lettuce. This pattern, let me see. I know it's from Just Cross Stitch magazine. It is from Just Cross Stitch magazine, June 2021. The Seed Pack towels. I am not stitching them on towels. I'm stitching them on Aida because I want to do 2 prints that I can hang in my kitchen. But I'm currently working on the lettuce. Now, what I've gotten done thus far, I have finished the lettuce and the shading underneath it. Now the lettuce is full crosses, but the shading, they're just half crosses, which go really quick. All I have left is the border and the wording. And then the lettuce will be done, and I can start on the tomato. As I said, I am going to do both of them. This has been a quick, easy stitch. And I'm really shocked because look at the details in the lettuce with all the shading and the different colors of green. But it has been really quick and easy. It's not confetti heavy. They are small-ish blocks of color. So not a lot of needle changes, nothing like that. I did color complete it. But this is a 14 count Ada in a pale yellow, which I like the pale yellow. I think it really went well with the greens and the lettuce, and I'm hoping it looks just as good with the tomato. But that is how much I've gotten done on that. I don't see a problem having that finished, hopefully, by the end of February, and then I can start the tomato. The next one, I did manage to get some work done on my mill hill. This one is my oldest whip, and this one will be done this year. Because it just annoys the heck out of me to have a whip this old. I started this one in 2022. Yes, I started it at the end of 2022. But I didn't work on it a lot. Kittens and beads don't mix. So I didn't work on it a lot, but now that the kittens have settled down into a routine, when I know, okay, now is when they will be sleeping, I can start working on it some more. But it is the Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Moonstruck. When you saw it before, it looked like this. I had just begun filling in the tree. Now, since I started working on it, I've continued filling in that tree, and it's looking really good. Now, as you can see, I've been beading as I go. I'm not one to wait and do the beads at last. I just bead as I go. But I am still working a little bit on filling in the tree, and then I'll start working on the other things. Now, I have done, some beading. I've done this house. I still need to fill in the other windows, but I've done the house. I've done the cat and the moon. So that's where it is now. It's coming along nicely. And I do enjoy working on it. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the perforated paper. I do have other Mill Hill kits that I may use the paper that comes with it, or I may not. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to wait and see how this one turns out once I fully finish it, and then make my decision from there. But I did get work done on my Mill Hill. Those are the 4 I've worked on thus far. Now, we're only halfway through the month. Well, technically not even halfway, are we? Are we? We're about halfway. So that's all I've worked on. I still need to work on my Treasure Island, and I still need to work on my Botanical Blackwork, and I still need to work on my stamped kit, and I still need to do my ornaments, the Halloween and the Christmas ornament for this month. Those are quick, easy, one-day stitches, though. I'm not really concerned about those. But that's what I've done thus far. As I said, my husband was out of town a couple days this week, and we've had some stormy days where we couldn't really go anywhere. So I got some stitching done. Now, for haul. You saw my Christmas haul. I showed that to you at the end of the month. My husband went up way over and beyond, which I'm not complaining about, and bought me so much stuff. Not as much for birthday, but the 2 things I did get for my birthday, stitchy related things, he got me plastic bags because glare. Pull it out. He got me from Tilton Crafts this one, Magic Books 2. And this one was actually on my wish list. It was not just some creepy one that he thought was cool. But I love this one with the little mushrooms on the book and everything. So he got me that one. And then he got me, now this one he handpicked. This one, he chose this one, and he got me, apparently he got it from Bestitch Me, because the little sticker's still on it. But he got me a Bella Filipina, and it's got a glare, because of course it does, because I live in Texas. And he got me Bellatrix. Like I said, he chose this one. Now, I typically do not stitch people. People don't interest me. Mostly because their faces, when they've been stitched, just look creepy. But I think her face is small enough that it won't be a big deal. I do think it's beautiful. This is my first Bella Filipina. I've never stitched one of them before because, as I said, I typically don't do people. But I will stitch it, and I'm sure it will be lovely. And I will probably hand dye the fabric, but I don't know yet. But in any case, that's why I say I didn't. It's a good thing I didn't wait to start something I got for my birthday, because I do not have the beads for this, and I don't have everything I need for this one. So I wouldn't have been able to start them immediately. Anyway, that's what he got me for my birthday. Now, I get the Fabric of the Month Club from Witch's Garden Crafts. She did mail them out late last month, but that's because she had family things, and then of course and then at the end of the year she also got sick. And I don't care. That's fine. You take care of you. That's more important than anything else. So I don't care if it's late. I'm not using it right that second anyway, because it's a mystery fabric. I don't know what color it is. But I did get the December fabric. It's gorgeous. It was well worth the wait. I love it. I think I already have a project in mind for it. I just have to see if I have enough of it to use it for it. But what we got was, and I get a fat 1/8 of a yard, and it is in the color Frosty. There we go. It is a light blue with the modeling and everything. Very pretty. And I have, and it's a set of patterns that I got from my bobbin. I'd have to look to see what the designer's name is. But it's a set of 4 sailboats. And it's the 4 seasons, you know, spring, autumn, whatever. And I think I'm going to use this for it if I have enough. I hope I do, because I think this would be perfect for it. But that is the color we got for December. That is not January's, that's December's. And she always sends a little sample piece, which I save for ornaments. I don't know what color it is. Doesn't have a name on it, but it is this deep dark blue. And I love it. I think it's beautiful. And I think this would be a really nice one for a Halloween ornament. So I'll save it for that. Now I placed an order at Forbidden Fiber for some fabric and some floss, but the United States Postal Service sucks, especially here in Texas. For some reason, they have recently begun rerouting all of it's very convoluted. The package gets to North Houston, which we are south of Houston. We're between Houston and Galveston. It hits North Houston, and then for some reason, they route it west to Missouri City. And then it goes back to Houston and then comes down here. I don't know why. But Missouri City, once your package is there, it is lost there for weeks until they finally send it on. And this is new. I don't know why they started doing this, but they need to stop. But my Forbidden Fiber package has been held up for a week in Missouri City, apparently seeing the sights. I don't know. So I'm still waiting for it. So hopefully I'll have it by the next video and I can show it to you then. But it was a sale they were having, so I went ahead and got a couple pieces of fabric and a few threads. Now, this counts as cross stitch and sewing. I had shown you in my last video that one of the things my husband got me for Christmas was a quilt as you go thing. Here it is. I can show it to you. It's by June Taylor, and it's Quilt As You Go project bags. It comes with the stabilizer and the zipper, and you just provide the fabric. Well, I made the smaller one, and it's 16 inches square, so it's 16 by 16. I like it. The only thing I would say is I wish it had a handle on it. I make all of my project bags. I've never bought a project bag, and I always put handles on them. I don't know why. I just like having the handle there. That way I can just snatch it up and go wherever I want around the house, or the car, or wherever. But oh, and the kit also came with the vinyl for the front, because it is a vinyl fronted bag. But here it is. The zippers were black, so I got black and white fabric for this one. I already had the little flower charm and the beads for the zipper pull. Zipper, and then of course it is the clear vinyl front. But I made that. I haven't picked out the fabric for the second one yet, but that's how it turned out. Now, I have not put anything in it yet. I will save this for a bigger project, but I did make that one. I haven't decided yet what fabric I want to use for the bigger one. It's just big enough because it's 18-inch square, so it is just big enough that a fat quarter will not work. Of course. So I'll go through my stash. As you can see, I have a stash, and see what I find. But I did make that, so I have a brand new big project bag that I needed to put a big project in. I think that is it for cross stitch. I did get all of my new patterns and kits and things put into my stitchy book, and they have been put into the stitchy cup. As you can see, it's getting really full, so I need to finish these projects and pick some more so we can start emptying this bad boy. But anyway, so I got all my new stuff all organized, all put in my stitchy book and put in my stitchy cup. I think that's it for cross stitch. On to sewing. Sewing. I haven't done a whole lot of sewing. Of course, I sewed the project bag, obviously. I did make myself a long sleeve thermal knit shirt. I am currently working on a pair of pajamas for myself, but it's in pieces over here. I haven't finished stitching it. I stitched the top, but it's way too big. I'm gonna have to alter it, which, okay, I can do that. It's really weird because I was fitting it to myself as I stitched it, and then once I finished stitching it, it was too big. So I don't. If I had to guess, I would say it's from the pattern. It is a McCall's pattern, and I'm making the shorts and the little top to go with it. But the top came out way too big. I have been sewing since I was a little girl, and I learned to make my own clothes when I was a teenager because I am oddly shaped. I don't fit the norm. So it's very, very difficult for me to buy anything off the rack. Even if I do go buy something, I generally have to alter it. So I just learned to make my own clothes as a teenager and said, screw it. I am short. I am only 5'3" and change. 5'3" and like 3/4. I am well endowed. I am large busted, but I'm small everywhere else. So it's hard for me. I'm one size here and like 2 sizes smaller there. So it's hard for me to buy off the rack. And I don't fit normal sizes. I don't know when they stopped making clothes for women with an hourglass shaped figure, but they need to start it again because this straight stuff doesn't work. I spend all day long pulling up my jeans. Part of that is because they're spandex. I don't know why they started putting spandex in denim, but they need to stop that nonsense too. But big 4 patterns are not made for women with breasts. Off the rack clothes are not made for women with breasts. So I sew my own clothes, and I also sew my husband's and my daughter's as well. It's just easier and cheaper. And I'll talk about that. This is a handmade flannel shirt. Little cute sloths. I don't really do plaid. I say sewing the clothes is cheaper, and this is why. A lot of people will go to like Old Navy or wherever. Oh, well, I got this shirt for like $4, and it cost you like $8 to make that one. Yes, but this one I will probably be able to wear for years before it wears out. That one you'll be lucky to it lasts all season. That's the difference. Not only that, but I buy fabric when I catch it on sale. Or I have various websites that sell remnants, end of bolt remnants. And a remnant can be up to 5 yards long or however long on these sites, okay? And then they'll discount it. And then I'll pick it up then. Because I make enough of our clothes that I have a good sense of, okay, that's 1 3/4 yards. I can get a top out of that. If not for me, for my daughter, So it's all a matter of shopping savvy, I guess. Get the fabric when it's on sale. The big 4 patterns, they go on sale all the time. 99 cents, $1.99. Pick them up then. Don't pay full price for them. Indie patterns rarely go on sale. But the thing about an indie pattern is it is generally sized more realistically than these. And so if you get one, say you paid $20 for an indie pattern, but it fits you well and you enjoy it, you like it, you wear it all the time, you can make multiples in different colors, whatever. You can reuse the patterns. So it's worth it. Now, I don't buy indie patterns often. Most of the time I just draft my own. I've been doing this long enough that I can do that. But if I do see an indie pattern that I really, really like, I will pick it up. Perfect case in point. This is an indie pattern, Folkwear Patterns. And it is for a lady chemise. You see? Now, these are this company makes patterns based on various time periods. A lot of them are vintage or antique styles. And they also have a lot of ethnic ones, like Moroccan dresses and things like that. I went ahead and picked this one up. I can sew it as is and use it as a nightgown. I can also hack it, use it for a summer top. I can add puffed sleeves to it and use it for a little spring blouse. I can get a lot of use out of this. And this was, doesn't have the price on it. I think I paid about maybe $15 for it. But I can make various different items out of it. And it comes in sizes from extra small to 3XL. They have a wide size variety. So I will occasionally get indie patterns and I will use those. But it's all a matter of finding those sales. A lot of people are like, sewing is an expensive hobby. Not if you do it right. Not if you do it right. And the thing is, Joann's, very seldom do I buy fabric at Joann's because Joann's fabric has become utter crap. It's cheap, synthetic, and I don't like it. I got some 100% cotton fat quarters from them, went to iron it, and it melted. That's not cotton, that's polyester. So I typically buy my fabric online, and there are several reputable sources where that have amazing deals, and I got a lot from independent small business companies. They have the customer service. One of the places I get my fabric is LA Finch Fabric. It's a company in California, and it's a small business, family owned. Every time I have ordered from them, I have a handwritten note saying thank you. That's just a small little touch that means a lot. And they do end of the bolt remnants. And I get a lot of my daughter's like Disney fabric from them. And it's a remnant that I got for just a few dollars. So sewing does not have to be an expensive hobby. But anyway, off my soapbox. That's really all I've sewn so far. Of course, it's only halfway through the month. I am holding off on starting any of my 9 quilt projects. I will wait until next month. I'm having a decompress month. Now, I did sew the thermal t-shirt for myself because it's supposed to be cold next week. We're supposed to get down to 20 degrees. Oh my God. It's going to be a national state of panic for us. Cities are going to shut down. It's going to be ugly. I did sew that, but that's quick. A front, a back, and sleeves. and I'm sewing myself some new pajamas because my old ones are so old, they're falling apart. So I need new pajamas. I spend most of my time sewing for my daughter. Okay, not myself. It's the same with shopping. Ask a mother. Oh no, I get my daughter all this stuff. I dress from the Goodwill. It's like, I don't know why. But anyway, that's all I've done with sewing. But I do have my plans. Starting in February, I will start quilting again. And I do have my little Christmas bag that I want to make myself out of this fabric. So I do have that, and I will do that before February because I have that. I want to make that specifically for something. So that's it with sewing. Gardening. I have been harvesting all of the peppers, especially the ahi mangoes. Oh my God, we have so many of them. I've been putting them in the dehydrator, drying them out, and then grinding them to use as spice during the winter. This came from one batch from the dehydrator, and I have another one that I need to grind up today. So it'll probably be another 3 jars. So we'll have plenty of ahi mango. We'll have plenty of chili, just plain ground chilies. That's the jalapenos and serranos. I've been harvesting, bringing them inside, and then I chop them, and then I freeze them into ice cubes. And that way, if I'm making a pot of chili or soup or something during the winter, I can just pull out 1 or 2 ice cubes and pop them in the pot. Fresh chilies. My oregano is huge and taking over the entire box that I planted it in. So I've been cutting that and dehydrating that, grinding it up because we use a lot of oregano. I make homemade pizza a lot, and all kinds of pasta. As a matter of fact, tonight I'm making pasta. We have this many eggs. So I'm going to be making a bunch of homemade pasta, fettuccine, spaghetti, and drying it. And then I'm going to probably make some raviolis and freeze those. Those I freeze. The others I dry. So I'll probably be doing that this weekend to use up some of those eggs. Now, we do sell a lot of our excess eggs, but our girls have been producing so much lately, I guess because the weather's been so warm, that we're just overrun right now. And I need to use up those eggs. So we'll be having, we're having shrimp Alfredo tonight. So I'll make a batch of fettuccine for that. But I'm going to be making some pasta and putting that away to use up some of those eggs. We're also going to be having some quiche this weekend. We're going to be having some breakfast burritos. We got to use some eggs. But anyway, the garden, all the winter crops are fine. The pea plants are huge. They're taking over. They're not blooming yet, but they're taking over. We have some beautiful Chinese cabbage out there. It's not ready to harvest by any means, but it's doing well. Our garlic is all sprouted, so that's doing well. So our garden is going along. Now, with the 20-degree weather coming next week, this weekend we'll be working on making some cover for our garden. Just to make sure it's good and safe. Don't need, all my stuff to die. But anyway, that's it for the garden. Other than that, life is just going on along. My husband is talking about maybe taking a day trip or 2 now that the holidays are over and his crazy time at work has settled down. For those who are new, he is the shop foreman in charge of the Texas fleet of trucks that deliver fuel to Buc-ee's. He works for a company owned by Buc-ee's, if that makes sense. But he is in charge of the fleet of trucks that deliver the fuel to the Buc-ee's restaurant, or not restaurants, oh God, no, gas stations. I hate Buc-ee's, so. His any like holiday season, especially holidays where people are going home, they're traveling a lot, are crazy for him. But now that it's settled down, he's talked about maybe taking some day trips, which will be exciting because day trips means another city, and maybe they have a stitchy store or a quilt store. Either one would be fine. So that'll be fun. I'm not sure when he wants to do this. We'll see. Neither one of us do cold, and that's funny because he's from outside of Chicago. But he hates the cold. He's been down here for decades, though, so he's become accustomed to our heat, not his native cold. But anyway, that's all that's going on here. All my critters, I don't hear Hecate going up and down the stairs anymore, so they may have all settled down for nap time. Which means I'll be able to edit this without anyone stepping on the keyboard. Snickers is not as bad as Jelly Bean, but Snickers, his thing is he'll lay down all nonchalant next to the laptop and he'll just watch you. And then all of a sudden a paw will go pop and hit 4 keys. And then he'll just sit there with his little paws crossed over like, what? Pop. Jelly Bean, on the other hand, will deliberately go out of his way to step across your laptop. Because Jelly Bean, he's my special little baby. But you gotta love him because he's adorable. But anyway, that's it for today. That's all I've got. I will continue with my schedule, a video every 2 weeks. I generally try to post on a Thursday because that's just easier for me. If I have something going on Thursday, though, I will try to get it out on Wednesday, which is what I was doing during the holidays. But I will continue with my updates every 2 weeks. Again, cross stitch, a little bit of sewing, a little bit of gardening. Probably more gardening once spring hits, but we'll see. It depends on if there's interest. If there's not, that's okay. If I get up to other crafty things, I will probably show them. But otherwise, the usual. Thank you. Thank you for all of your lovely comments. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I am actually up to 110 subscribers, which absolutely blows my mind because I honestly didn't think anybody would care what I have to say. I still have doubts, but I have my own private cheerleader in Laura, so she's not going to let me quit. She's going to make sure I keep doing this. But thank you so much, and I hope to get to know all of you better in the coming year. I hope this year brings amazing, magical things for all of you. And if you've seen something you like, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, the YouTube-y stuff. But until then, have an amazing weekend, and I'm so glad you took some time out of your day to visit with me in my craft room.